Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Room. So in this video, we are going to start with the part 2 of the solar system. So let's begin. We were starting about the solar system, about solar system having 8 planets. We already had a look at Mercury. Now let's see about Venus. Venus is Earth's nearest planetary neighbor. It is the brightest planet in the night sky. Venus has no moon or satellite of its own. Rotation of Venus on its axis is somewhat unusual. It rotates from east to west while the Earth rotates from west to east. Okay? So now why does Venus is known as the morning and the evening star? You must have often come across people saying that Venus is an evening or morning star. So why? Sometimes Venus appears in the eastern sky before the sunrise. Sometimes it appears in the western sky just after the sunset. Therefore, it is called as a morning or an evening star, although it is not a star. Try to locate Venus in the night sky. So you can perform this activity. One night you can, after the sunset, you can try locating the Venus. Right? Does on Venus the sun would rise in the west and set in the east? Now let's answer this question. Now we already saw that the Venus rotates from east to west. So we already know that the earth rotates from west to east, and we know that the sun rises in the east and sets on the west on the earth, correct? So what would be happening on Venus? Yes, the sun would here be rising in the west. So sunrise would be happening in the west and it would be setting in the east. So sunset would be happening in the east. Am I correct? Now the Earth, our planet. The Earth is the only planet in the solar system on which life is known to exist. Environmental conditions are responsible for the existence and continuation of life on the Earth. These include just the right distance of the sun so that it has the right temperature range, the presence of water, which is very important, and suitable atmosphere and a blanket of ozone. The Earth has only one moon. The blanket of ozone protects us from the harmful radiations from the sun, right? Now, why exactly is there a change in season on the earth? Why do we experience season changes like summer, rains, and then winter? Why is it happening? So, here what happens that the axis of rotation of the earth is not exactly perpendicular to the plane of its orbit. So, as you can see in the picture, it's not perpendicular, it's tilted. It's tilted at an angle of 21.5 degrees. So, this particular tilt is responsible for the change of seasons on the earth. Correct? Now, here you can see that because of the tilt, there are season changes on the earth. Here you can see northern hemisphere having winter and southern hemisphere having summer. And 6 months later, northern hemisphere would have summer and southern hemisphere would have winter. Right? Now, from space, the earth appears blue-green due to the reflection of light from water and landmass on its surface. We have seen earth appearing blue and green. This is because of the reflection, right? Now let's have a look at this video. Here it is shown that water can exist in various forms like ice, but it is only on earth that water exists in the form of liquid. Now it is because of the presence of water that life exists on Earth. For life to exist anywhere, water is the most useful substance because water has dynamic usage. First of all, every living being drink water. Secondly, water is useful for the production of food. Now, the plane of the equator is called the equatorial plane. The plane in which the Earth revolves around the Sun is called the orbital plane of the Earth. These two planes are inclined to each other at an angle of 23.5 degrees. Right? Now, if you're 13 years old, how many times have you gone round the Sun? Just think about it. So, if one revolution takes 1 year, then you must have gone 30 times around the sun, right? Now, Mars. Mars is the fourth planet. The next planet, the first outside the orbit of the Earth, is the Mars. It appears slightly reddish and therefore it is also called as the red planet. Mars has two small natural satellites. Now, Mangalyaan mission. Indian Space Research Organization launched India's first Mars orbiter mission, that is Mangalyaan, on November 5, 2013. It was successfully placed into an orbit of Mars on September 24, 2014. With this, India became the first country in the world to do so in its first attempt. Right? Now, Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet of the solar system. It is so large that about 1,300 Earths can be placed inside this giant planet. Can you imagine? However, the mass of Jupiter is about 318 times that of our Earth. It rotates very rapidly on its axis. Jupiter has a large number of satellites. It also has faint rings around it. Right? Now, location of Jupiter. Jupiter is easily recognized as it appears quite bright in the sky. With the help of the telescope, four of its large moons can also be seen. Saturn. Saturn appears yellowish in color. Its beautiful rings makes it unique in the solar system. These rings are not visible with the naked eye. Saturn also has a large number of satellites. Right? Now, Saturn is the least dense among all the planets. In fact, it has a density less than that of water. Now, Uranus and Neptune, which are farthest away from the Sun. These are called the outermost planets of the solar system. They can be seen only with the help of large telescopes. Like Venus, Uranus also rotates from east to west. The most remarkable feature of Uranus is that it has highly tilted rotational axis. As a result, in its orbital motion appears to roll on its side. Now, let's see what are inner planets and outer planets. The first four planets, those are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are much nearer to the Sun than the other four planets. That's why they are known as inner planets. The inner planets have very few moons. Now, in this video, you can see the surface of the Venus. Next comes the Mars, and then there is Jupiter. Right? The planets outside the orbit of Mars, namely Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, are much farther away than the inner planets. They are called as outer planets. They have a ring around them. The outer planets also have a large number of moons. So these are some of the characteristics. Here you can see the atmosphere. So firstly there is Jupiter, then Saturn, right? So let's move on. So now this is a trick to remember planets. You can remember the 8 planets by the statement. My very educated mother just served us noodles. So the initials of every word in this sentence is the first alphabet of every planet. So Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Right? Very easy trick to remember, correct? So this was all for this video. In the next video, we are going to learn about the other members of the solar system. So till then, thank you and see you next time.